Hello and welcome everyone to the Past Marathon Achieving IA Analytics. We're excited you could join us today for Leila's session on AI application with Power BI. The Past Marathon features back-to-back live webinars delivered by expert speakers from the past community. The sessions will be recorded and posted online after the event. You will receive an email letting you know when the recordings are available. My name is Tracy Baggiano. I run a local user group out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I have a few introductory slides before I hand the reins over to Leila. If you require technical assistance, please use the question pane located on the right side of your screen and someone will assist you. This question pane is also where you may ask any questions. Feel free to enter your questions at any time, and once we get to the Q&A portion of the session, I will read your questions out loud to the speaker. You are able to zoom in on the presentation content by using the zoom button located on the top of the presentation window. Please note that there will be a short evaluation at the end of the session. This will pop up after the webinar ends in your browser. Your feedback is really important to us for future events, so please take a moment to complete it. Keep learning all year long. Visit PAST.org and check out all the free educational resources available to PAST members. Connect, share, and learn. Don't forget that PAST Summit will be happening on November 5th in Seattle, Washington. We'll be celebrating our 20-year birthday there, so it should be a blast. Head over to pastsummit.com and register today. This PAST Marathon session is presented by Leila. Leila has a PhD from the University of Auckland, and she is the first Microsoft AI MVP in all of Australasia, and is also a data platform MVP. She is a co-director and data scientist at Radicad with over 10 years experience with databases and software systems. And without further ado, here's Leila with AI application with Power BI.
Thanks so much, Tracy. So hello everyone, good morning or good evening. I'm Leila, AI and Data Platform MVP. I'm based in Auckland, but now I'm in MVP Summit in Seattle. And today I'm going to talk about AI application. So before I'm going ahead, this is my email address, my Twitter account. So after the session, if you have any question, I'm more than happy to be in touch with you and actually kind of talking about what you learn or what you need to do in your organization. Okay, so AI application in Power BI. So today I'm going to talk about to look at the what possibility we have and what is a new feature that we have in Power BI to do the machine learning. So we are going to look at if we have a developer background, if you are a developer, how we can do machine learning in Power BI. And also we are going to see that if you have a premium account and we are business user and we don't want to actually write the code, so what are possibility that we have? So yeah, Microsoft did a great job in case of machine learning from 2014. So as you see, this is a chart that I've created, maybe not the official one, but this is my experience with different Microsoft machine learning that we have. So we have some case of pre-built AI, like cognitive services that we can use them. There is no coding, you just use the API and you can consume it in any application from Power BI into Databricks, into your application, whether .NET application or Microsoft App and Flow. Also, we're able to use some custom AI. That means that creating our AI or using simple tools like Azure Machine Learning Studio and create a model, and finally consume the model in Power BI, Excel, using for IoT in stream analytics, or even consume it in other application. The same for writing R and Python that's not available in other applications like Power BI, SQL Server, Data Lakes, Databricks, and again machine learning, and the other that I didn't include here. So you see that how different possibilities, if you have different infrastructure, how we can do that. Okay. For today, I'm not going to talk about the actually other tools. I'm just going to focus on how we can do machine learning in Power BI. So in 2014, sorry, 15, Microsoft announced using R inside Power BI. Many of you using Power BI, you see the small icon of the R in visualization tab in Power BI. So that's a start. Then they add R in Power Query Editor, which was really great. Then in recently in 2017, they also add Python into the Power BI. Also, there's a possibility to consume other models that we have. So, for example, you create a machine learning model in Databricks, you're able to show the result here, or cognitive services, or creating any model in Azure Machine Learning Services and Azure Machine Learning Studio. So you create a model and you're able to consume it in your Power BI desktop. Now, in 2019, recently they call a kind of the private preview. So there was a call that they actually provide a facility for everyone to do the machine learning in Power BI service and using the cognitive services, Azure ML services, and the others. So I'm going to have a look on some of these possibilities, and you see that how it's amazing and how we can do machine learning very easily. First of all, I'm going to look at from a developer perspective, from the hard part to the easy one, that is the business user. So imagine that we have a developer and he wants to use the cognitive services. So what is cognitive services? Let's have a look at the website. So cognitive services is a combination of the different machine learning and AI tools that we have in Microsoft stack. So as you see, this is a website of Microsoft cognitive services. They categorize it to the main category: vision, knowledge, language, speech, and search. So as you see, for example, for the vision, we have face recognition, computer vision, and the other. I'm going to just show you a simple of the face recognition so you can see that how it works. So that's a very simple one. I'm going to add a picture. That is a gathering with my friends. So I'm going to add that one here. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, to find the proper picture about here. Yep, that's a gathering that we have about a year ago with some of friends in Austria. So as you see, that is actually able to easily detect the face of the people, the age, are they happy, or they're wearing glass or not. So this is a kind of one of the example of the face recognition. That was a part of the vision. For today, our developer wants to use the language one and wants to do the text analytics. So in text analytics, we have key phrase extraction, text analytics, and also language one, and also identify the entity and recognition in a text. So I'm back to the slide. Okay, from current slide. Okay, so what is the text analytics? So text analytics, the data that we have is not just about numbers or words or kind of string. Sometimes we get lots of data from our customer via their email that they send to us, from the Twitter, from the speech to text that they actually, for example, the call center. So all of these data needs to be analyzed. We need to, for example, there's a lots of huge data, huge email, and you want to know that what is the main point of the email. You don't have that much time to review all of the things, and you just want to get the main point. Or for example, for the performance analysis, you want to know that how much the customer are happy about your product from the sentence that they write. Or you want to see the relationship between the different documents. This is all about text analytics. Microsoft Cognitive Services Text Analytics is really young, but it has a really great ranking according to the different benchmarking websites. So this is the one which is really good. Now we are going to use it. I'm going first to show you that how we can use it for the key phrase extraction. Uh, our developer has a data set about the company feedback. I'm going to bring that data set into my Power BI. So This is for Fabricam company. I'm going to open it and bring it here. So it's a CSV file, and I'm going to the edit query into the Power BI desktop. So as you see, this is about the customer email. So I have the ID, the name of the customer, the subject of the email, the comment that they provide. So I'm going to do some text analytics on that. I'm going to remove other column, and also I want to kind of merge the column together. So I'm going to kind of merge these two columns together. I'm going to merge the subject of the email and the other by putting a space. Cool. So this is my data. So this is a developer data, and he wants to use cognitive services. So what's the process? The first process is that, for example, I want to do the key transformation. I need to get a kind of subscription. As you see, you have 7 days trial for evaluating cognitive services. No credit required, no data will be saved, and all of the service will be created for you in the West US Central. Or if you want, you can actually enjoy, you can go for the other policy that we have, and you see that is really kind of good. So it's actually, we need to get a start from here, choose your country. So mine is New Zealand, and I'm going to the next one. Yep, agree to the terms and conditions, and log in with one of your kind of preferred account, and it's actually give you a key and a URL, so you're able actually to do that. So I'm, for example, I'm signing with my let me sign in with the other account. Okay, so you can sign in with one of the account that you have and you access. So that's actually really easy. Or otherwise, you can go to the portal and creating the resource here. Go to the AI and machine learning and create a text analytics over here. So I'm already have one. So I have a text analytics here. So as you see, if I go to the overview, it gives me the URL, and also it gives me the key. So there's a key also here, so you can click on there and copy that. So you just need these two options from there. So now you need to do some coding over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new query, Power Query. So I'm create a blank query here, and I call it as sentiment analysis. Yep, sentiment analysis. Sorry, keyword extraction first. Okay, and this is a blank one. Now I'm going to actually to edit that one. For people who don't know about the Power Query is a really great place for kind of do the data transformation, and also the main language behind that is M. So when I actually create a blank query and I click on Advanced Editor, it actually navigate me to the area that is actually you able to write the code. So I'm going to paste some code here for the keyword extraction. Just paste the code here. So this is the API key that I get from my portal. So this is the manage key. So you can actually click on that and copy the key from here. You paste it here. Then the other one is actually the URL that connect to the web service that we have. As you see at the end, the name of the web service is Keyphrase. And also, the other important part is the region. So always remember, for example, if you have US West, put that, or in Europe, just make sure to change it. For me, it's Australia, so I put it here. The rest is some M language, is really kind of a standard one. I will share the code with you in the slide. So it's actually the M code that's going to connect to the web service using the function web content, call the web service and get the result. Okay, so I add that one. So this is actually a function that I'm created. So now, as you see, my query actually changed to the function. It asked me for a attribute. So I have a function that able to connect to cognitive services. I able to pass a text to it, and then it's able to actually return the result. So what I'm going to do, I'm back into my data set, and here I'm creating an add column, and I call the invoke custom function. So under here I said that what is the key rewards, what is the function, and it should apply to the which column. So yeah, this is a kind of the see. So for example, for the first one, as you see here, there is an email that says insufficient packaging or order 3 widgets last week and just received them. So this is the email that person says, and what is the main point of the email is widget, service, packing, and the other. Let's back and try the other service that we have here. The other one is actually sentiment analysis. First, I'm going to the sentiment analysis that it help you to get understanding customer is happy with you or not. So what it's doing is actually a function that provide a number between 0 to 1. So 0 means customer really unhappy, this side. If 1 is close to 1 means customer is so happy. Let's see that how is actually work. So the same process, I'm going to create a blank query over here, call it sentiment, and also I'm going to advanced editor here, and I'm going to put this kind of the same code that I actually show you over there, just some small changes. So the same API, the same, just this service name change, and the type of the output is changed. Again, I will share this code with you. It's kind of the standard one. So again, I'm create a function here. I'm back to the here, and I'm going to kind of add a column, invoke a custom function, call it satisfaction or customer feedback, and I'm going to use the sentiment analysis on the merge data, or I can provide a better naming. So it provide me something like that. So here, as you see, these customers are not happy. It says that he's really disappointed in the way that the packaging happened. So if you look at the sentiment, it also say the same thing. It's about less than, is about 5%. So it's less, kind of close to 0. So this is, but however, for example, look at the good number for this customer. It says fantastic. Wow, I had no idea that such quality existed, and lots of really nice feedbacks. And if you look at the number is 0.9, close to 1. So this is actually, you see that how we can use it. The same for the language one. So you can also use that one, is detect the language that we have. So for that one, I'm going to use different data set against the CSV file, and I'm going to bring that here. Just give me a second. So I bring the data set. I hope I did here. Okay, maybe here. Yep. Yep, that's an IMDb movie dataset. It's about 15,000 rows of data. I'm not going to apply on that because it's taken lots of money out of me. So as you see, this is the name of the movie and their ID. I'm just going to apply it in the first 10 rows of this dataset. So I'm going to just limit it. So just keep about, for example, 20, the first dataset. And I'm going to do the same again, create a new blank query, call it language, and I'm going to advanced query, put it here again, just the service change and the way that we actually get the result. Now if I'm back to the here, and I'm at a new column, invoke a custom column, and I put the language name is going to identify the language of the each movie that we have. So you see that, for example, these two is actually they are French. I'm not really good in the French, but I think that there should be French. So it's actually supported. The last time that I checked, it supports 70 different language. The same for the sentiment and keyword extraction. So under the PowerPoint, I think I include the actually the link that shows the language support for that. So it supports Japanese, Chinese, and the other language. Okay, so I also include all of the code for you. So now you mentioned that this you need to know about how to work with Power BI, how to create the query there, and the other. This is for developer. But now you've imagined that there's a business user not interested to do any coding, and it has a premium account. There is a really much easier way to do that. I think that many of you maybe heard about the Power BI services and the new service that we have, that is data flow. So data flow is actually in a simple way is a Power Query in cloud. So I'm going to create a new data flow. I want to do the same analysis that I did here. So I have a data set in blob storage, the same data set that I'm showing to you. I'm going to actually bring that one and do the same analysis this time here without doing and writing any code. So this is my data on the blob storage. And just waiting, so is imported into the data flow. There are lots of interesting sessions about data flow, not in the AI panel, but I think in the actual other sessions. Hope so. You just follow up with the past, you will find it. So these are Power Queries. Power Query is the best place to do the data transformation. So now we have it in the Power BI services with the name of data flow. For instance, this is the data that I have. As you see, I don't have a proper name. So I want to use it as a first row. So it's actually going to do the kind of the first row. And I just need the, for example, this column. I don't need the other one. I will delete the other. I'm going to do the same things that I did there. So I'm going to do the same functionality that I actually did and cognitive services without writing any code. So in data flow, we have a small actually icon, then AI Insight. If I even click on that, it's going to connect to the list of the web services that is available. As you see, there is a folder named cognitive services, and as you see, you can see all of the function that I write about them there. So for example, for sentiment analysis, I'm going to apply on the text and I want to invoke it. Take a bit time to kind of connect it, and it's bring. Yeah, the number is not the same because I didn't include the subject to the comments. But as you see, how easy actually is provide me the data. So this feature will available for the premium. Still is it private preview, so for limited access people they can request, is not for just specific people, for everyone, but still in the private, so you need to contact with the people to have access to this one. But I'm sure that in the next couple of months it will be available for everyone. So here is actually the sentiment that we have. You can easily kind of the change about, for example, feedback, and have it here. So now, for example, you done with that and you actually do. So for other services also the same. So for example, I want to do the keyword one again on the comment data set and table, sorry, the comment column, and it actually gives us the main keyword from the customer feedback. So now actually you did a data flow here, so you inside that just provide the proper name. So I said AI Marathon 1 and create a 1 here. Just put it down on that, and it's going to refresh the data set and kind of the save it. So it's going to validate the query and bring it in Power Service. The good things about that is that whenever actually you done that, let me close and apply, you're able to access to that one from your Power BI desktop. So it's actually just waiting, still uploaded. So here you are. So this is data flow that I have. I put a name. I said AI Marathon Summit. Pass Marathon. And you need to refresh the data, of course, anytime you change. Okay, so when you refresh the data, if you go back to your Power BI desktop and search for data flow connector, you're able to connect to your to your Power BI data flow there. So there's a connector Power BI data flow. You connect to that, and it's actually going to connect to all of the services that you have there. So it should be fine now. Save and close. So here is actually, let me see that yeah, this one, you see that is the one that I'm created. So I did a machine learning in cloud, and now as you see, I'm able to see the data. So it's going to kind of expand it to everyone able to see that. Just a minute. So it's still connecting. Yep, this is the one that I did just about a minute ago. So that's a one. So you're able to easily load the data here and actually consume it here. So what I did in the previous one, I did machine learning inside the Power Query. I connect to the cognitive services inside Power Query now and loaded it here. But now is actually I'm connected to the I'm connected to the other one. So as you see, there's a Fabricant one. So they provide the same data thing. So this is my Fabricant. As you see, the keyword and the extraction happen here. And this comes from the data flow. So kind of the same process. So now let's look at the other functionality that we have. So you see that we're able to do the, oh, sorry. So Power BI using the text analytics in Power BI service. Now I'm going to talk about the machine learning. Again, machine learning from the perspective of a developer and doesn't maybe access to the premium capacity, but it wants to do the machine learning. So maybe some of you are familiar with the machine learning process. So for the machine learning, first of all, we need to know what problem we are going to solve. Not all problems can be solved by machine learning. There are some confusion about what problem we can solve. So that's a really important one to see what is the business problem we have. Then we be sure about and we kind of find a good business problem. We need to search for data, collect the data, access to good data quality, clean the data, load the data from different resources. And based on the data behavior that we have, we need to choose the appropriate model. What model we need to use? Then after we choose the model, we need to train the model like a child. So for example, if you want to train the child about showing different type of the dogs, so you show him or her different type of the dogs, after a while is able to say this is a dog or not. So the same process for data. We need to train the data. So we train the model based on the data that we have, and then we test it. So this is the main process that we have for machine learning. I'm going to show you a demo that I'm created machine learning process in Azure Machine Learning Studio. It's a very traditional and one of my favorite because it's really easy to use for many people. And I'm going to consume it in Power BI. The first demo, if I have time, yep, I still have time, it happened in the Power Query again, but the other one is actually I will show you how I can do it into the Power BI data flow if you have time. So the first process is actually I need to back to here. So this is my actually machine learning, Azure Machine Learning Studio. Azure Machine Learning has the standard and also the premium one. So I'm going to the one that I'm actually created machine learning over there, connected to the region that I have. Machine learning, Azure Machine Learning Studio, you can connect to that with your Gmail account, with your student account, with your work account, and you will access to the free space or to the paid one. There's some difference between them, but even in free one, you access lots of things. So I'm going to connect to my free one for this one. I don't, for example, I don't access to the other one. So, yep, it's connecting to my free workspace. And I'm going to create a model. So the data that I have is about the very traditional problem, very kind of the interesting problem that we use it as a hello world for most of the machine learning scenarios. This is about the Titanic problem. So I'm going to bring the data here. So the data set that I have is a Excel file. Start to open it. Yeah, so this is a data set that I have. Again, I will there's a free data set, so you can access, just search for Titanic data set. They are in Kaggle, and the other you can find it, or I can include it into the slides. So as you see, this problem is we are going to predict people with a specific age, gender, and passenger class will be survive in a Titanic space or not. So as you see, I have different things. I have age of people, I have their age, gender, and also the passenger class and whether they survive or not. So 0 stand, they are not survive. 1 stand is they are survive. So it's kind of the data that we have. So we want to predict if this, unfortunately, this scenario again happen, what is people with actually specific age, gender, and passenger class are going to survive or not. So this is the data that I have. So I'm going to create a machine learning here because maybe we don't have the kind of the all the time. I just explain very fast what is the process. So here actually I'm going to create a machine learning here. I have already bring the data set here. So Titanic data set, this is my data set. For my data set, I need a specific column. I don't need passenger ID or the other. So I said I need just select a specific data in there and I just connect it. And I just choose the main column, the column that I want to predict, and the other columns that I think will be impact. In the next step, based on the process that we have, I need to divide my data set to the training and testing. So this is my data set that I have. I put about 70% of the data for the testing. So this is the second step that we have. Next, I need to choose the model. I'm going to do the classification. I want to classify my people to be survive or not. So I use a algorithm that is exists here, decision forest. I'm going to train the model, and also I'm going to test the model using the score model. I have an extra space. Okay, so this is my data that I have, and I'm going to create a connection between them. So this is a connection that I have, and I'm going to set which attribute I'm going to actually predict. So the things that I'm going to predict is a survive column. So imagine that it needs lots of more transformation, but imagine that this is the one that I have. So I'm creating a model here, and I need to kind of, after creating the model here and testing and do all of the machine learning process, I need to create a web service for that and provide the proper name for that one. So here I'm also able to change the name. Okay, so here I put a proper name, Titanic AI Marathon, for example, and I save it. And now I'm going to kind of, again, I need to run it, and then I need able to create a web service out of that. Every time you change it to able to do, you should do that. So we have a predictive web service at the bottom. So I'm click on that. It's going to create a web service from my model. As you see, new tab is open here. Two magic happen. I get two other input, web input and the output over there. So I need to do some data transformation here. I need to kind of provide some better format here. So I just change it a bit here. So this is my actually web service. So imagine that I'm create this web service. I deploy this web service, and I'm actually access to this one. So just run it. Okay, so it's take a bit time to create. Now actually I'm able to click on the deploy web service and create a web service out of that. It needs some more data transformation to access, to define the input and output data, because we run, maybe have a, I want to show you other parts, so I just ignore that part. So this is the kind of my web service. So in Azure ML Studio, I'm able to create model in the experiment, and also I'm able to create web service. So you see that I create a web service. This is my web service, and it's provide all of the information about web service here. So the model has been created. I'm back to my Power BI desktop. This is my Power BI desktop. I have a data set here. So I'm already create the model over there. So just let me remove the blank one. So I want to actually the model there. There's a web service over there. I'm going to use that. Let me show you the proper one that I have. I'm created into the my premium one, the standard one. Imagine that I'm going to consume that one. That's the one that's actually proper one. Let me show you the one that I'm going to use here. So maybe you ask me that what is the free, what is the premium, and what's the standard one? The standard one actually let you to do commercialize and also create web service that you can use it in other applications. So this is my Titanic, the one that is really cool and clean here. So as you see here, this is my web service. If I come here and check the web service here, actually I need to go to the web service portal, is I'm able to actually test it and see the data over there. Sometimes the website is a bit funny. So this is my web service here, and you're able to see the sample of that and test the data over there and kind of work with that one. So you're able to see that how it actually work and use the web service in other external, or even test it. So you can click here, provide if my passenger is passenger class 1 and is female and the age is 34, it's going to survive or not. Okay, so it says that with 99% is going to survive. So this is the one that I have, but I want to actually apply it on these data that I have. The process here is a bit different. So I need to go again to the Power Query. I'm going to the edit query there. In Power Query, if you remember, I told you that we have our script there. So if you go to the transfer tab and at the end click on run our script, you're able to see actually kind of an R script editor. I'm not going to write R for machine learning. I'm going to write some R code to access that web service. You can, if you know M language, you can easily ignore that part and do the same way that I showed to you. You can do it that, but I found it this way easier for me. Maybe not a kind of the proper one, but you can actually do that. The only thing is that make sure you have one version of the R in your machine. So I'm going to write very simple code to do that. So let me bring the code from my workspace. Okay, so this is the kind of the code that I have. So this is workspace ID, authentication, and the service name. So what is the workspace ID? If you go to your Azure Machine Learning portal, and if you click on the setting, there is a workspace ID here. And if you click on the authentication token, you will see there is a primary authentication token. So I need these two to connect to my Azure environment. And also I need the name of the service, that is Titanic prediction for this example. So these are the three things that you need copy from your Azure portal. In the next step, you need to access to one of the library that we have in our name Azure ML. So if you don't have it, you need to go to your RStudio or any R version that you have and install it. Just use the command install.packages for this one. Okay. And the rest is actually some function that connect to the workspace and consume that one. Let's do it together to see that how it works. So it actually is going to connect to the web service, is going to connect to the web service that I'm created over here, and is going to connect to this one and actually consume and run this algorithm over there. Yeah, here you are. So it's actually, I get the prediction. The name is, I said prediction is better naming. And the other one, the probability that these happen. So probability, sorry about my bad English and typo. So this is a probability of the prediction, and this is a prediction. So for example, if we have a male passenger in passenger class 3, that means economy 1. So we have 1, 2, 3. 1 I think is first class, 2 is business class, and 3 is economy 1. So the passenger class 3 with 22 years old, with this probability is not going to survive. So this is the kind of the process. This is from the point of the from the point of the actually a developer. If you are a developer and you create you know how to work with Azure Machine Learning Studio, you know how to write the code here, you're able to consume your code here and load it. Now let us start. So I'm going to kind of apply, close and apply here. I'm going to look at it from the other perspective. Imagine that this time the person that is going to kind of this stop is not actually a developer, is a business user and has access to the premium. So I'm going to show you that how this process happens. Also, I put all of the code here, so you just need to copy everything from there. And also remember to install Azure Machine Learning or Azure ML package into your RStudio. So you see that we did the kind of cognitive services there. Now I'm going to show you how we can consume, how we can do machine learning in two ways, using the AutoML and the Azure ML Studio there. So I'm back to my kind of portal, to my data flow. I'm going to create a new data flow here. My data is actually, again, I'm going the same data onto the portal. So I'm click on add new entity, and then I'm going to call the data from the blob storage, and the same data that I have, so passenger ID, name, and the other, just need to some data transformation here. So this time what I need is actually I want to create a model here. So I need survive, passenger class ID, age and gender of the people, and I don't need other columns. Okay. So this is actually the things that I have. I just call it Titanic. There is two ways to do that. One way is actually the same that I actually show to you. So you can create a model here. You need to access to the standard one. Just be careful about that. It's not happening the free one. You need to go to the standard one, and you make sure that your Power BI Premium, that access to these feature, is the same as a subscription that we have in the actually Azure Machine Learning. So they should be in the same subscription, or at least they should have. For example, for my scenario, they are not, but I provide some admin access. That's a process that we need to do, so I'm not going through that. Just make sure about that. So one way is actually to do that. So if you're doing that, then if you go again to the AI Insight and click, you see that is going to connect to the different folders. So you see that for the previous example, we have a cognitive service folder, but also we have a kind of another one, Azure Machine Learning models. So what happened is actually going to connect to the model that I have. So as you see, I have a Titanic prediction model and experimented that I actually didn't provide proper name, so that was here is experiment. So if I'm back here, you see that I have access to both of them here. So here I'm able to provide the passenger class ID and doing that. So this is a one way. So here just make sure the data type is the same. So passenger class is a whole number, and definitely I need to remove this column because I want to do the using that one. So passenger class is whole number. Age also I put it whole number. So change the type back to here. Now if I'm call the prediction, is able to find that one and invoke it. So I'm creating machine learning in Azure Machine Learning Studio, and I'm able to see it here, which is awesome. So, but here it should be some data scientist that actually create the model before, and I'm as a business user, I'm able to see that. So here is actually gives me the result here. So if I expand the record, you will see the prediction and probability as we have there. Okay, so just the same. This is one way. This is one way that actually I'm create a model in Azure Machine Learning Studio at the other. Now imagine that I don't want to do these things. I don't want to actually, I don't know how to create machine learning studio. I'm not happy to do that. So what should I do? Okay, so I'm going to remove the steps that I have here and back to the steps that actually I just have these things and I want to do machine learning. So what I'm going actually, this is my data. I'm going to kind of import the data, validate the query. I'm going to use another possibility that we have here. So you see that we have a machine learning modeling data flow. And you can actually do that. So I said that, yep, I want to save the data and do the machine learning here, create a model here, test the model, and then see that. So of course, refresh the data. So I have different things. So I'm going to the general classification problem. I'm click on the next, the Titanic. I'm going to predict people survive or not. And in the next step is actually is going to ask me what parameter will be impact and the model name AI marathon. Yep, and just save it. So it's going actually to create me a model through that because it's going to save it. So I need to wait till it's saved. But just let me show you other things that actually we have here. So because it may take a bit time, I'm just going to show you the one that I already have. So this is the
Hey, Leia, you got about 10 minutes left, just so you
sure.
know.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just going to show you the final thing. So this actually I'm apply on that. And as you see, there is actually, this is my data that I have. If I'm click on Azure Machine Learning Studio, I'm able to see the model here, the accuracy preview and everything. And I'm also able to apply the model on the other data set. So Just wait a couple of seconds. So it's load the really nice actually report that shows all of the predictions, accuracy, and everything here. Really understandable for kind of everyone. And you see that the sample size, what is the outcome, how much we are accurate, blah blah, technical detail and accuracy report. And finally, you are also able to apply it on other data sets. So you see that how actually kind of these things is possible through here. You see that I'm actually create a model over there. I wrote lots of blog posts about these things, so if you want to follow, so I put the link here. I just keep it for now, so everyone can take a screenshot or photo, so you can, after the session, I also include that into the PowerPoint. So after the session, you're able to apply to that. Please go through them. Please provide the feedback. The feedback that you provide, I can also provide it for the team. So it actually help us to have a better version. So please go through that. This is my email, my Twitter, and also I have 2 free books and one book is coming. I will announce it later. So I have a book about it's a free book. You can go to the website. It's collection of my blog posts about Azure Machine Learning Studio. If you're really new to Azure Machine Learning Studio, it's just 100 pages. You can just go through that. It's a combination of my blog posts. And also I have another book about Power BI and R. That just solely is for 2 years ago actually. The focus on the how we can use R in machine learning. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, everyone. I'm actually have time for questions.
Okay, so far there are no questions out there, but we'll give people
Yeah,
a
sure.
couple minutes maybe to put some in. Did want to mention she does have a handout sitting out here that's a PDF of her PowerPoint if you guys want to download that while the webinar is still open.
Uh, Still, I need to share. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can download it. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think that they can download it here. Okay. Yep, it's available to download.
Okay. I got a question. Is it only available in Power BI Premium?
These ones that I showed to you, yes, this is only available in premium. But as you see, I show you the kind of the way that you can do also in uh, do it that with writing some code. Again, this code is really easy, so for now you can also using that one.
And the second question from the same person is, when will it be available for Power BI Pro?
And not sure about that. I'm really terrible on the licensing information. I need to check it and we'll post it. Yep.
And then they said, okay, so it can be done through R script, and thanks.
Awesome.
Where can we get some business cases to do hands-on or practice?
Business case and scenario. So I already wrote some about this. So about data flow, I put it there, and also I provide the data set inside the URL. So at the end, you see that I include some of them. I will open one of them so we can look at it together. So that's actually coming off the hands-on that we have. This is the one that I have for Microsoft. Is still because it's not released as for everyone, so it's still not. But you can just use the same. Actually, I provide it, and you can access to it through here. Any other question?
Nope, that was the last one I've gotten.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy, and thanks so much
Thank you.
for
That
everything.
was
And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
I did. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great one, everyone, and bye. Oh,
Bye.
actually, yeah. So just make sure about the coming up next one. Yep, please.
Yeah, coming up next is how to use AI to solve business problems with Anu.
And
And
yeah,
so stay tuned for that. That'll start in the next 4 minutes. And then thank you for attending. And to learn more from Leila, there's her Twitter handle and her email address.